Black Quant VTF here, T3 Live, and usually if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show, but due to the holiday schedule, it's Monday. We're coming into the end of the year. We still have a full day tomorrow, so you've got 3 full days left in the week, albeit we have a new year, new month, all that kind of stuff. So you just want to be aware of that. It's exhaustion. So one of the things you want to do at any given time, so when we have SPY did what it did. So what we had today was a couple simultaneous breaks, and what that means is that oftentimes it'll start on a Monday or new quarter. And so what happens was that when you have this creeper like this, and then you go 2-2 here on the daily, 2 up, 2 down, below that, then what that does is it triggers this, the 2-2 weekly. Now, the question is going to be whether weak enough for that. 2 up, 2 down on the weekly SPY and the daily SPY. So what that also caused, that happened in a myriad of things. And so when that all kicks in at the same time, what happens is the simultaneous break, the tripping and the stops, if you will, and you have this an opening like this, or like, what's going on? Like guys who are stopped there, intraday stuff, weekly stuff, boom, all those tight stops got hit right away. So that was your initial break, where then what you'll notice is, like, if you go back to a lot of the charts, almost everything looks like this, down and then inside 60, right? Because the futures take hold when you have that type of a situation. Because the natural buyers, anybody's going to buy something, they just step back. Everybody just let them trip out and get stopped out. Then you can start to discern what's going to go on here. So then we had our inside 60, right? We went inside 60 to the upside. That works, right? That's 2, 1, 2. Then it goes 2 up, right? So the question is, can you get outside of this mother bar? If you can't, this is all going to be considered an inside bar. So then once you get this reversal back down, now you're back price discovery broadening formation. So it still stayed above that, but for the rest of the day, 2 up, 2-2 reversal, 2, 2, 2, and into the close. So it's essentially like an inside day, and until we can get out of this, so it wouldn't surprise me tomorrow to go inside day to start the year. However, we got a lot more things starting to the downside, so we'll see what comes of that. But I wanted to point that out because you had 2 simultaneous breaks. One, the 60 daily and weekly right out the chute, which caused this. Right? What that means is, once again, 80 to 90% of any daily, weekly signals were triggering to the downside right out the chute. All right? Then almost everything went inside 60 and back to the upside. That was a simultaneous break as well, just on a 60-minute basis. And then as we got into here, then you started to see discernible strength and weaknesses where we could go after stocks that are taking out last week's highs. And then as we take this here and go 2-2 reversal back down, anyone staying down and taking out last week's lows. So we're not going to waste too much time on it, but based on that, if we go to the weeklies here, things we want to know about. In the SPY, it's a 2-2 reversal here, below 320.90. Now, to be fair, we got a new month coming, and we're nowhere near taking out last month's lows. All right, so as we go through this week, we're going to be looking for those type of combinations. If we take this out, what's the next 2 on the monthlies? Are we close to taking those out? Are we going inside? What are we doing? For not right now, it would just be a weekly 2-2 reversal on the SPY to get my attention on that. QQQ here would be below 211.44, and it popped back up a little bit stronger, which you can see once again the same deal right out the chute. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Everything looks like the futures, down, inside, and back up, and now still stuck in here. So you got to break that, and you got to break that, and you got to get outside of this, all right, tomorrow. So if we look at some of the other things that are taking out last week's lows, Uber. So Uber slightly here. That's below 29.83, and of course you can watch that with Lyft. Here, like so, doing that. Just being aware of when you look at all the charts, still inside month, but you can see these would be closer to be going inside month back to the downside come Thursday, right? Here. So that's why you might want to pay attention to these if they start getting hit. You have MU, and you can see this is nowhere near taking out last month's lows, and yet goes 2-2 week to the downside. So we can come down here. We always want to have these combinations for the real major breaks. Doesn't mean we don't pay attention. That's why I'm pulling this stuff up. If you go to Roku, there you go. Shooter up, 2-2 down, below 136.08. Now Roku going to go inside month, but once again, lots of months. Look at this, 3 months inside of this thing. How are you going to get outside of there? You aren't anytime soon, but you are closer to the month to the downside in Roku, so you can pay attention to that. Come Thursday, Pfizer, nowhere near taking out those lows, but you do take out this. 2-2 weak to the downside, and that's going to be below 39.13. Facebook, here, 2-2 reversal week, below 205, you're there. I said, I'm just running through the scan here. Since it's a holiday, stuff like that. You have Big Mo doing this. Below 50.12. AbbVie here, inside weak and down below 888.83. So it's almost there, just sitting there. SQ. SQ coming down. Now you can see how SQ here is below last week's lows. Then when you get the monthly, potentially inside month here. And that would give you, boom, the 2-1-2 reversal back through here to start the new month. So these are the kind of things you want to know about come Thursday. And depending on what goes on, also come next Monday when we see if they really want to show up. You've got American Airlines still having problems here. Like so. Trying to set up RevStrat month for the week. Slightly taking that out. Boeing, we know, all sorts of trouble here. Boeing inside month and down 2, 2, 2 here, and that's how you triangle the out. Stop them out. Take them down here below 329.17. CGC here, still drifting lower, and so the problem with CGC here is you got this. Potential shooter counters hammer month if they want to take these things down, because TLRY has been in all sorts of trouble into the lows of the year here, still puking. So don't want to miss any of these good ones. Hang on. Boeing, we know. IBM having problems here, and that's Dow Jones, so you always want to be able to put together who's where and what you're watching. Inside, RevStrat day. 1, 2, boom, triggers this. Inside week to the downside, and you can see this range has been pretty tight, but it was a nice little hit there today, and you got this monthly, inside month and down, but so far would be a 2-month inside pattern to keep it on the Dow Jones. Netflix. And Netflix, nowhere near taking out the month. And we'll get to that over the weekend, but here you go. And not quite inside week. Oh, yes, it was. Inside week to the downside, Netflix here below 326.01. You're there. Home Depot, more Dow Jones. Home Depot, that's just 2-2 down. Once again, this will be an interesting monthly here. If it holds, because see if we can go hammer month to the upside, like so. It's got some room on that, though. Okay. And that's also Dow Jones, so you can put that together with your IBMs and all that kind of stuff that's in the Dow. PayPal. Oops. And PayPal, interesting here too, because if it falls too much, you've got your weekly 2-2 reversal. If it falls too much, it goes RevStrat month here. Now it's got some distance on that, but this is inside month. So that would RevStrat below this in the new month, below 103.26. So I always want to be aware of these things. When you get a new year, sometimes people are taken surprised by, what's going on. But when you can combine all the scenarios, we know exactly what's going on. MPC trying to come back RevStrat month, or if they can take this to the upside, albeit right here. Starting off slightly inside weak to the downside, and you're going to see a lot of these smaller moves due to the lower VIX. You got TTD here, and there's your 2-2 weaker. Boom, right there. That's nice. The good thing is when you go through these over the weekend and you know where these spots are, and get your alerts in there early and be like, all right, this baby takes out 263.34. I want to be a part of this. Thing's down $11 from that part of the break for the month. Nowhere near taking out either side. And the daily was inside day. Boom. This is why you want to go back to previous range. Pivot machine gun. Oh, I got to stop here, 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 here. Boom. All right, so we'll see how if there's anything more comes of that. Ben, from the weekend video, Ben comes down, takes out last week's low slightly. We've known about this because of the RevStrat month. Inside, poke up, boom, multiple bar pattern. Now I'm going to see if we can take all that kind of stuff out down in there. Okay, TWLO. Still inside month, so the jury's out on that come new year. Just slightly taking out 222. You can see it's a lot of these real slight stuff, but it's stuff that's important because it's what you want to know about. It's going to tell you what direction you're looking to go, and that might change per the dailies in the 60s. But constantly keeping an eye on all these situations here. Okta going to be an inside month here, and right now RevStrat week, inside, 2 up, 2 down, but closer to taking that month down. So it would depend on where we close tomorrow, and then you come in Thursday, you got a good shot in inside month and down for Okta if they want to take E-Profi over there. RH. And RH. Slightly taking that out, and you can see this is a multiple par pattern. All this is stuck inside in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. It would be a monthly chart depending on when the monthly updated, but it's not. All right. So, but that all that matters. That's all going to be inside right now. It's just another 2 to the downside. And, RH, PTLA having some problems here in the bio. PTLA, you can see this taking out last week's lows. Also in the month. Boom. 2, 2, and you can see you can get chopped up in here. It goes inside, down, RevStrat to RevStrat, 2, 2, because you're trying to get out of this thing. You see this? Here. Anytime you couldn't get out of there, now just keep looking for those reversals, and now it's trying to resolve to the downside. PTLA in the bio. Carvana, CVNA, and nowhere near taking out the month. But the weekly is inside week to the downside here for the rest of the week. Below 94.35. Tandem. Sure, you see it's not that big of a move, but it is inside week and down, and it would still be inside month, so you're closer to taking another month down, and it was just stuck in here for a while. Always looking for all these clues. Also, when it starts moving down, when you know it's red on the month, on a green month and all this stuff, you've got full time frame counter to the downside. You got sellers in there. It's a matter of how aggressive they are. They haven't had to be that aggressive because of the strength of the market, but that's true. Google, nowhere near taking out the month, but you got a 2 week down here, below 1344.16. Splunk, not by much, and slightly red stall out on the month. So you can see it's not doing too much on the month. But that's why if you look at a reversal, maybe get them to come back through all this stuff. Splunk below 149.26. BIIB is RevStrat to the downside. Very slightly, you can see stuck in this mother bar. You can see how chopped up you can get in here. You got to be really aware of something like that. You got NXTC, also weekly shooter down there. Keep an eye on that. Once again, chopping around inside this mother bar, so it'd be nice if you can go and take all that kind of stuff like so. Okay, I won't go too far down on the food chain on this one. But if we go to a much lesser list, taking out yesterday's highs, or last week's highs, because you got the market to come in. So if you're short something, you're happy about that, right? But then, if you get something to take out last week's highs, it could be something as piggy as Riggy. Rig in their face, 2-2 continuation. And you can see Rig coming out of the ashes here. Nice green month, 2 on the month. Get a nice 60, sticks it to them. Now they come back in and triangle them out a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. If we go to Macy's, any hope? Macy's still inside month here, but you can see it's closer to being on its inside month to the upside. If it closes higher, and you do take out last week's highs very so slightly. LK taking out last week's highs, going toward the new highs, monthly, bright green. So you just wait for that corrective activity and try and jump in there. Something like this. Outside, inside 60 right here. Thank you. Oxy in the energies. And we know that what a tough time they've had. But Oxy, once again, takes out last week's highs again. You can see here was your 2-2 reversal down into here. Still going. And what that sets up is for the new month, potential 2-2 reversal above here, above 41.11, depending on where it closes tomorrow and what that high is. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, Dix, we had some Deckers taking out last week's highs. You can see this is some retail. Deckers does it. on the week. The Momo Hammer slightly. You got Dick's doing it as well here, so you hit some retail 5 below. Taking out last week's highs, a bunch of that kind of stuff. And comes in a little bit, but real close to going back to the highs would be Apple here. Doesn't take out last week's highs just yet, but here's your 2 up, 2 down, boom. It wouldn't be hard to do that. Just a daily quick play. You got Burl here, BOL, coming out. Inside day going, trying to get out of all this stuff. But in a weekday for the market, just keeps walking higher. So we'll see if anything comes of that. Once again, all this stuff's going to reconfirm or negate on the 60s. You're going to watch the 60s and the daily for time frame continuity. And be aware, of course, that we're coming into new month, end of the year. So there'll be some profit taking here and there, and we want to see where they start rotating into. So over New Year's Day, I'll be going through this stuff we want to know, and the weekend video. We want to know who's closer to taking out this month's highs, and is it into all-time highs, and can it hold? Right? Who's closer to taking out this month's lows? That's going to be a bunch of inside months. Right? We'll take a look at that. But right now we're just exhausting. So hopefully, whether you can follow all this or not, it's important to understand the sequence of what's happening in the market and why we're looking when we're looking for it. Right? We want to know where the natural buyers are when the market's tanking. Right? So we can stick it to them when the market stabilizes. And conversely, when the market comes in like it does today, who's taking out yesterday's and last week's lows, and who's close to taking out last month's lows? Because all we're doing is gauging participation groups by price and time, and who's going underwater where, and using those groups against each other. Thus, when you saw the simultaneous break in the morning, that's exactly what is happening. People are stopping each other out on their various levels because there's so many tight levels because of the way we've been walking up. We just do that on a grander scale. All right, that's going to do it. So we go back to our regular schedule next week, because if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show. Hope everybody had a great year. We're going to have an even better strat year, 2025. If I don't see you tomorrow, Happy New Year. God bless you. Rob Smith from T3 Live here at QE Wheels in Motion show.